Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the extraordinary meeting of communities. Right, can I have any apologies for absence?
We haven't had any, Chair.
Okay. Any declarations of interest from anyone?
No.
No. Okay. Public participation. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, public participation will be dealt with via the submission of comments or questions to the council prior to the meeting commencing. Anyone wishing to submit a comment or a question to the council must do so by 5 p.m. on Friday, the 19th of February 2021. Do we have any public participation?
No.
Okay, right, I'm going to hand over to Phil regarding the topic in question.
Okay, thanks, Chair. The issue around IDOCS and using the grant finder part of the organisation to access data sets for funding, we wanted to have a quick review. So I've sent links out to people just to show that, one, they're a definite, viable and legitimate company. They're registered with Companies House. I've also put out how the grant finder was purchased by IDOCS way back in 2010, which was approved by the Office of Fair Trading. It was subject to some investigation, but was approved without any further issues. The more recent issues have been around the issuing of contracts for them managing postal voting systems, particularly in Glasgow. From what we can see, that those issues have now been resolved. In fact, they've even won a contract with the Scottish Government to run the next batch of postal elections across Scotland. On saying that, the reason we actually came to IDOCS, because we were looking at a firm or a more not so profit-oriented firm called National, was it National Grant Funding, Siobhan?
Is it, yeah, something like that, or NCVO?
Yeah, it's through a public body. They're actually closing down at the end of March, and their support mechanism was IDOCS. So that's what pointed us towards these in the first place. The other place we looked was the Directory for Social Change, which is more charity focused. They run the same type of service for data sets, but a lot of what they offer is not accessible by local authorities. It is just for charities. So unfortunately, because they're based in Liverpool, that would have been a very good local connection to have. But when we looked at it, it works out marginally cheaper, but we wouldn't have the information that the grant finder system can give us. So on a purely practical basis, that's where we reached the decision that IDOCS would be the preferred choice from the officer's point of view. Information's been given to me today from Councillor Mullins, thank you very much, regarding the potential purchase of IDOCS by a firm called Dye & Durham. They're a Canadian-owned global organisation that specialise in legal technology, which is cloud-based, but they are self-admittedly pursuing an aggressive takeover of a range of firms across the planet. They've recently just acquired an Australian company. They are making inquiries about acquiring IDOCS, but there's been no deal struck yet. They are tagged as a lead company in this field. They employ 350 people in the UK and Canada at present. They don't score great on Glassdoor if you're looking for ex-employee referrals. I think they score 2.8 out of 5, and there are a fair few negative comments. But I think what we've got to sort of get our heads around is that these companies are in it for profit. They're not in it to be nice to their employees. If they can make their employees happy, I'm sure that'll satisfy them, but their main drive is to make a profit. Again, they could be acquired by someone else in the near future. So I think we just have to think that these companies are here for their purpose. Their purpose is to make money. They provide services. Will those services benefit Maghull Council if we access their data sets and we are managed to hit a vein of funding that would suit us and our projects? You have to weigh that up against, they're not the most philanthropic of organisations, and that's not their raison d'etre at all. They're there to provide services, but we pay for it. The biggest part of the organisation we're going to see with IDOCS is the voting side, and we wouldn't be having anything to do with that. But again, if any of you got any further information, it'd be interesting to know, but I can't find out much more than that. All I can say is they've not been shown to be doing anything illegal or immoral.
Okay, any questions from the group? Or comments?
No. I just had a few concerns last time, but to be honest, having looked into it and having spoke to Phil and having looked into myself, there's no concerns really anymore.
Councillor Mullen?
Yeah, I know I give that information this morning because I was just a bit wary, but I feel like I had a little think about it today and agree with you, Phil. I think we've just got to sort, because it's only for a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's really a small amount to hopefully for what we can get back off them. And if things do go a bit wrong, we're only doing it for a year, but hopefully, some good will come out of it. So it's worth a try, isn't it?
I think. So the last point that I meant, as a town council, there's nothing we need to be that concerned of at the minute. There's no glaring issues. By the looks of their history, the new company, things might change in relation to the service that we've got, but obviously we've only got a contract for a year, as Denise said.
Yeah. It's worth saying that they hold contracts with a whole range of different organisations, public bodies, health institutions, education institutions, a range of social services and other support functions. So, we're far from being on our own from a public sector body that actually would work with them. We're just going to be a very, very small part of their wider customer base.
Okay, any more comments?
Ross has got a comment.
Right, I can't see it again, Ross. I've only got 3 people on the screen. Go on, Ross.
Okay, yeah, it's just really to sort of reiterate what everyone else has said about, there doesn't seem to be too many concerns. And the reassuring thing for me is that it's only for a year. And, obviously, if something happens with this company or we don't get out of it what we hoped we would get out of it, at least it's just a year. So I'm quite happy to go ahead with it.
Okay.
From our own point of view, we've asked the questions, and so from that point of view, I think we can be happy, sort of thing. Yeah.
I think from my own point of view, it's like what's in it for us, basically. And as a town council, we can either not go with this, which would mean that Phil would spend more man hours trailing through the internet looking for funding for us when he could be doing better things with his time. Or do we go with this company who say, right, you can have bid for this, you can bid for that? It cuts down man hours. Sometimes you have to go into business with people who you're not necessarily going to go for a pint with, let's say. But at the end of the day, if there's something in it for us, I'm all up for it. And as Phil said, and when we brought this to the first committee meeting, if you remember, I asked for monthly updates. Well, updates on what we were getting back off these people. And I think we have to speculate to accumulate in this situation. So, yeah, I think I will agreeing with everybody else. So do you want to go for the vote on this one then?
Yeah, you want this to be a recorded vote, don't you, Chair?
Yes, please.
Okay, you'll have to go around people individually then. I'm instructed by Siobhan.
You want me to do it, yeah? Is everybody okay with what a recorded vote is?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so I'll call your name and you'll either say you're for, against, or you abstain. Okay, so I'll go it in the order that it's showing to me on my screen. So Councillor Mullen.
For.
Councillor Jonathan Desmond.
For.
Councillor Frank Sharp.
I'm for, thanks.
And Councillor Ross Ferguson.
Yeah, I'm for.
And myself, I'm for as well.
That's unanimous. Thanks, Chair.
Okay. And that concludes the meetings. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, great. Thanks very much.
Okay. We will provide you with monthly updates on how this works. We'll let you know when it kicks in. If anyone wants to spend a bit of time and come and look at the data sets when we've got them, you're more than welcome. I'll let you know when we get them.
So when do you expect it to kick in?
Almost immediately. The guy seems quite keen. He's been emailing me just to see when the meeting was, so I said I would contact him tomorrow.
Okay, just one thing on the money front. There was from Sefton Council, there was some bid writing course on the 11th of March, if anyone's interested, online.
Yeah, this is a good idea to get on that, yeah.
Yeah, I've booked on already, but it's worth spreading
Well,
out.
Frank, are you? I'll try and get the radio lads to go on it.
Yeah.
Okay, while we're on here, just for a minute, just a quick one, reflection. With regards to the garden competition, if for our next meeting, you can like write down the categories that you want to put in and like a little description. So say, for example, best community garden, meaning from a care home or a school or something like that. If you can do that for the next meeting, that would be great.
Yeah, no
Okay.
problem.
Brilliant.
All right. See you all later then. Stay safe.
Okay.
Thank you.